residing above you. Come across the mountains, come from the sea, come from the depths of the abyss, Lucifuge, and come forth now. Come forth now, Lucifuge, come forth now, brother, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and breathe. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me.
Lucifuge up in the house tonight. Hell yeah. We're gonna put you over here, brother. We have these roses. Say hello to everyone here. There he is. Hell yeah. You know that's right. Haha. What's up, everybody? Hey. Good to see you all tonight. Hey, I know it's a little bit late. I'm definitely more tired now than I was before I decided to do this, but it's okay. I feel all like, but you know, that's how it goes. We're gonna talk about Lucifuge tonight. I want to say hi to everybody that's here. What's up? What's up, Jeremiah? What's up, Cora? What's up, Altar of Darkness? What's up, brother? What's up, Johnny Wolf? Hey, man. What's up, dude? What's up, Braden? Hell yeah. Good to see you all. Thanks for being here. And for people that aren't in the chat that are watching, hi. You don't have to be shy. You can come in and talk to us as long as you're nice. Anybody that's nice is always welcome here. Always. That's how we roll up in here. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, it has been a minute since I've worked with Lucifuge. I did a pretty crazy path working with him back in I guess it was 2017 or 2018. And I have done evocations with him since then, but I haven't done any really in-depth path workings like I did before. And there's something very unique about him and his energy. And the information that I channeled was like this, There is a reason why he is called the Lord of Pax. There's a reason why he is the intermediary between like man and the demonic, the infernal divine. And the reason is because he is not of that source. He is actually like a demigod. He was a living human being that did take on these demonic traits once he left this place. And I think that that same thing is true for a lot of us. Like when we leave this place, there will be a sigil that will come along with our energy and our spirit. Like I already have mine right here, and there it is, right? So I have a pretty good idea what is going to happen to me once I leave this place ultimately, like in my very last incarnation, which this could be it for me, actually. My chart actually specified that was very possible. And while I don't think that I'm ready to really go, I guess in many ways I am. And what's going to happen when that occurs? I'm probably going to become a demigod. I'm probably going to become a demon. I'm probably going to be someone that people are going to be summoning and calling upon. And I know that sounds weird, and I know that sounds strange, but for a lot of you, you probably realize this too, don't you? You probably know already. And that is something that like Lucifuge was really telling me, like he was telling me this. And that is why I have my own sigil. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing now here on earth while I'm here. And like, who is Lucifuge? Who was he before? Hermes Trismegistus. I can't even say his last name. Hermes Thrice-Megistus. Same dude. And he was one of those weird mystical prophets, one of these really weird mystical people. And he's also connected to Thoth. And I think that's really kind of like where he got a lot of this divine information and this like divine beingness within him. But he wasn't always just a spirit. Yes, he was a man. He was an extraordinary man. Just like a lot of us, we're extraordinary men and extraordinary women. You know, the people that are on this path, the people that are like truly walking this path, you know who you are. You're extraordinary. You are extraordinary, right? You're not ordinary. You're remarkable. You're spectacular. You're willing to do things that most ordinary people are not willing to do. You are willing and able to roll with the punches and like really kind of get through anything that life throws at you. And you have like this inherent like hunger, this voracious hunger within you to understand the mysteries of the universe, to really seek and find those answers. And it just never ends, does it? It doesn't. I think even after we leave this place, that is going to continue to be the case, because there are even greater mysteries that lie beyond the veil. And then once you leave here, you will have access to that information, full access to it. And you will be that intermediary, just like you are here on earth already, right? Well, it's going to be magnified. It's going to be exalted. You're going to be even more powerful of a conduit than you could have ever even imagined being like here now in your living vessel. So I would really urge all of you that feel that call, that feel that pull, that like, you know what your destiny is, to channel your sigil, right? Channel that sigil and print that in the universe and print that in the cosmos. Like, make sure that you're going to be coming back here, right? A lot of you do feel like you're never going to leave this place, right? You are, but you are always going to be connected to it, because you are going to be like a guardian angel, but not the type that you think. You are going to be a deliverer of ancient knowledge. You are going to be a nexus point. Cora. A nexus point. A link, a powerful link between what lies beyond and what's going on here. Even after this physical body, this vessel is shed, it's not over. It's really only just beginning then. You are a demigod in training. You have already been chosen. You are divinely guided. And that is why you are on the mission that you are on here right now. It's bigger than you could ever imagine. It really has nothing to do with this incarnation that you have here right now. While it may seem that is the case, it's really about like the real work that begins once you leave here. For you are going to be a guide. You are going to be a powerful nexus point for everyone that is yet to come here, to make sure that this ancient knowledge, this wisdom, this connection is not going to be lost. Because yes, there will come a day when the books will be burned once again. There will come a day when technology crashes. They're trying to put it all in there, right? Digital, right? But what happens when the cord and that plug is pulled? There goes everything, right? There goes everything. But there are people, there are vessels like you and I. It's imprinted within us. It's imprinted in our aura. It's in our DNA. It's in every cell and fiber of our beingness. And it goes way beyond the flesh. So you are all going to have a very important role to play in the ultimate evolution of humanity moving forward. And while your work is important here, and it is important now, this is only the beginning. For your real work is going to start down the road in the future. Once you leave this vessel, you will be conjured, you will be called upon, your spirit will live again here through blood, through sacrifice, through pain, through the charging of your sigil, through the calling of your name. You will come again. You will rise again in glory. And there'll be a lot of people that don't understand then, just like they don't now. But everyone that is connected to you, your ancestral line that has not even arrived yet, they're connected through your essence. They're connected through the blood that flows through your veins right now, just like we are to the ancestors that have come before us. Many of which maybe have made that transition too. A lot of them did not. There's a lot of people that are in this incarnation now, living in today's world, that are significant, very significant. Like you are actually the chosen one in your ancestral line, you. For you could be the very last one in that line before it all goes down, baby. It's possible. And I don't like to think about that kind of stuff, but like, truth is truth. Destiny is destiny. And yeah, you're destined for this. You're destined for greatness. You're destined to become a demon. And that kind of sounds weird, doesn't it? And it's like hard to wrap your head around. People are probably being like, what? Holy shit. Yeah, I was too when I first found out. Yeah. You've always known, right, that you were extraordinary. You always knew that you had these abilities that other people don't have, right? Why do you think that is? Have you ever stopped to consider it for a minute? Do you think that you just like got lucky? Do you think it's really just so you can like wow people with the things that you know and the things that you can understand and that you can just like pull shit out of thin air? Why do you think that is? Yeah, because you are a living God, baby. You are a living demigod. And when you leave this place, you are going to be a demigod demon that will walk again upon this earth. When they say the gods are coming back, they're talking about us. They're talking about us. And that is the truth. You will see once you shed this skin, and you'll be like, damn, JD, you know, And I'll be like, yes, I told you. I'm sitting over here on my cloud watching them. And that is really how it is too. I know that it's weird, right? And Altar of Darkness, yeah, you know, and I think Cora knows too. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah knows as well. Yeah. It's one of those things. And you know, people think we're absolutely crazy. You know, when they conjure me in the future, I'm going to be like, who is crazy now, right? Uh-huh. It's okay. I'm still going to bless you. I'm just going to require extra blood. You know, I'm going to be rolling like Belial. Like, you better fucking bring it if you want to call me. Because I am busy and I have a lot of fucking things to do. And, yeah, like, they're all lining up for me, baby. So if you really got to show me that you want it. And if you don't, I'm going to ignore you all fucking day long as I sit under my tree in the clouds eating a delicious fruit that you have never even heard of before because it doesn't exist here. But I will share it with you. I will. And what is that little bag that Lucifuge is carrying? What is that about? What is in that bag? Everybody's always wondered what's in that bag, right? It ain't weed. It ain't snorting that powder. They are golden seeds, baby. They are golden demi-godlic seeds. They were planted within you when you were conceived. Really, before you were conceived, you already had this seed of divinity that was planted in you by the demigod that was given that role to create those demonic offspring that you are. That little ring that he carries, like, that is really just representation of the Ouroboros. It's a representation of eternity. It's a representation that, yes, you do live forever. You live forever. Just like Lucifer said, there's a reason why a lot of you have had a lot of near-death experiences, and for some reason, you just can't die. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen until your work is done here. And yes, we still have a lot of work to do here. We still have a lot of growing to do. We are still in our prepubescent stage, if you will, of our growth, of our evolution. We're still evolving. We're not there yet. We're demigods in training. And like in the final death pangs of this vessel, you will be elevated to absolute glory. To absolute glory. And believe me when I tell you, people will remember your name. They will remember your name forever. They will remember your sigil. They will remember your attributes. And yes, you will be assigned a very special role. Each of us will. You probably already know what those things are. It's the things that you're already good at now. And while like a lot of the demons that we work with, they might be moving on. And who's going to take their place? We are. We are. And you can see that like there's similarities, isn't there? A lot of people that you know in this community, they remind you of someone, don't they? This demon or that demon. You can see it like written all over them, can't you? They're ready to take that position. They're ready to take that role. Maybe not yet, but they're working on it. They're working on it. And that is what is happening, Jack. That's what this is all about. This is what your whole life and your whole existence has been about. That's what it's always been about, you know? Yeah. And again, I know a lot of people are going to be like, and a lot of people are going to be like, really, JD? Really? Yeah. Really. Yeah, I'm gonna be that demigod demon with the yellow teeth. That's what I'm gonna be known for. But hey, you know, hopefully they'll like replace it with like gold inlays with diamonds and rubies. Maybe I'll have like a carnelian crown that like bust out of my head, you know, like, yeah, you're gonna sprout horns. And like, there's another thing that I bet you money on. I bet you a lot of you have this pain back here, don't you? This pain in the back of your shoulders on each side. And sometimes you just can't get it, can you? You just can't stretch it out. You can't get it to go away, and it hurts, doesn't it? That shit hurts, don't it? And you probably don't even know what that is yet, do you? It's been happening for a long time. That shit's been bothering you. You probably went to the doctor. You probably been putting icy hot on that shit and heating pads and all kinds of things, right? But you can't get it to go away. Sometimes you can. That's your wings sprouting, dude. That is your wings like starting to fucking, and they're not angels' wings. They're more like dragons' wings. Yeah, dragons are real. Demigods are real. Demigodalic demons are real. You're looking at one. I'm looking at a bunch right here. So yeah, you're going to feel that spirit inside of you stirring sometimes. You're going to feel it transforming within you. And yes, you are going to be a shapeshifter. You already are. All of you are already shapeshifters, aren't you? You look different from one day to the next. And like, why does that, and why like a lot of humans don't have that happening? Because you're not a full human. Hello. You're different. You're different. You are supernatural, baby. You are absolutely supernatural. And you are on a whole other level than everyone else is. You have a divine mission. A divine mission. Yes, and you will be coming back here again. A lot of you feel this connection to Earth, right? And you thought that you were never going to leave here. You thought you were going to be trapped here, but no, you're not going to be trapped here, but you are going to be anchored here. Like, this role, this job is bigger than you ever could imagine yourself to be. Like, you are a caretaker of humanity. You are a caretaker of ancient knowledge and ancient wisdom. Because like I said, the book burnings, the witch hunts, the destroying of technology and the destroying of this information, like the movie 1984, they're going to try to rewrite it. They're going to try to get rid of it. They're going to try to twist it. And it's going to be up to you, up to me, up to all of us here to bring that back, to bring it back. So you thought you had a big job here now, didn't you? You thought it was all about this life, didn't you? You thought it was about the other lives that you had lived before, didn't you? Just about going to work and making some food and having some sex and drinking some liquor and gambling and fishing, pounding on some nails, building a tree house. All that shit's great. But your role here was never really about those mundane world things. It's bigger, it's grander, it's cosmic. Most people here do come from the stars, but people like you and I come from a place far beyond that. And that's why people are so attracted to your energy. That's why people can't get enough of it. And that's why also they don't understand you, because you aren't like them. Hello. You've always known that. You may not have fully understood it, but hopefully with what I'm talking to you about now, hopefully you will. Hopefully you will. And there is no coincidence at all that the people that are here tonight, that are in this freaking live stream chat right now, you're here now for a reason, because you needed to hear this message. You needed to be reminded of who and what you are. And yes, this is no crazy talk. This is no JD's crazy again. This is no JD's drunk, JD's high. That shit ain't happening no more. Thank the gods. Thank you, Cora. Thank you, Azazel. Hail. That shit was stopping me from my mission. That shit was stopping me from ever having anything good in this life. But like, the same applies to me and the same applies to all of you. You cannot keep a good demigod down. You can't. You can't. You are always going to rise above. Always. Because like, people talk about things being divinely guided. You are divinely fucking guided, bro. Chicks, chickies, brother mans. To the nth degree. To the nth degree. And I think that a lot of you know in your heart, you can feel what I'm telling you is true. Whether you want to accept it or not, you're gonna like, the truth is gonna slap you in the face one day. And you're just gonna have to accept the fact that it's true and lean into that role. Lean into that role. Your work starts here. That evolution is really beginning. I know a lot of you can feel it right now, can't you? That you are actually stepping into your own power now in a big way. In a big way. Because yes, big things are happening. Things like time is speeding up. Time is speeding up, and we are like racing towards this crazy like critical mass. It's a critical mass. And yes, things will change. A lot will be lost in both life and in information. And it will happen in the age of Aquarius. While we are in the beginnings of that, we're in the like birthing stage of it, where all the information is flowing freely. And do you wonder why that is? Because it's our last chance to absorb and acclimate and integrate that information before it's lost forever. But just like those seeds that Lucifuge has planted within each and one of you, that information is going to be stored away in the ground, under the water, in certain secret places. And there will be many actually, that are going to be led for that, to that information. And what are they going to find? Your name, your sigil. They're going to know what to do. That same ancestral bloodline is going to be running through their veins, but they're going to be back at a starting point. They're going to be the nexus, the link for everyone that's going to come after. And you are going to be playing an important role, just like the Watchers did before. It's just a little bit different now. But yes, you are going to be teaching humanity how to live again once more through your spirit rising again in all of its glory. I think that is like remarkable. I think that is just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. There's a reason why you're the black sheep. There is a reason why you cannot deny this path. There's a reason why you stay here no matter how hard it gets, how much pressure is placed upon you, how many people in this world tell you it's dumb, tell you it's fake, tell you you're stupid, tell you you're wasting your time. But yet you still show up, you still do it, you still commune with these infernal divine in the same way that the people that are coming after us are going to be communing with you. Pretty exciting, isn't it? It's a lot to handle, but this world is so much crazier than you even realize, especially now that you know this information, right? Yeah. So thanks everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. I want to tell you that I never plan any of this out. I never think about any of this prior to coming on here. I always just connect with whatever spirit that I am going to be talking about or whoever is going to be delivering the message, and I channel this shit. It's not me that you're talking to here. And I think that like a lot of you know that. Like I'll even look a little bit different. I'm wearing the same goddamn clothes that I was wearing last night, but yet there's something different about me probably. And it's the energy. It is the demon, the demigod that's living inside of me. You know what I mean? The same thing will happen to each and every one of you. And it's true. It's so true. Sometimes, you know, depending on who that is, you know, you might look a little worse for wear or whatever you call it. But sometimes you're going to be radiating absolute beauty. I think I was last night. Today I look a little bit different. Lucifuge's energy is a little rougher and a little more like rough around the edges. I don't really like it, but it is what it is, right? I would much rather like be shrouded in that beautiful energy of Lilith. It definitely helps me to come across more beautiful. I did put some face lotion on before I came on here. I washed my face and put that lotion on. I've been doing that. I've been taking much better care of myself. I've been smoking a hell of a lot of cigarettes, and that's for sure. But really not as many as I had been. Like I am slowly but surely kind of pulling away from these. Yeah. It's been an emotional day for me today. It's really been an emotional week for me ever since like Saturday. I was doing some heavy purging Saturday night into Sunday, and it's just been a hard week. That Chiron and Aries energy, I think we're going to be moving through it here pretty soon as far as I know, but it's still here heavily within our atmosphere. And it really does stir up a lot of things from the past. A lot of those childhood traumas, a lot of that wounded inner child woundedness, a lot of that wounded warrior energy. And it's tough, man. It's bittersweet. It's confusing. It's like digging up old bones in the graveyard from the past. And those old bones used to have a meat suit, right? And you remember what they looked like. You remember their face. You remember when they would look at you with those beautiful eyes that they had. And those are gone now. The only thing left are them bones, baby. Are them bones. It's going to be the same thing for you and I. I do think that for all of us, and I'm really just kind of speaking like for myself here, I feel like I'm going to have to be cremated. I don't think that my bones are supposed to stay here. If you do, however, they're probably going to find them and use them to build one hell of an altar to you. That'll be pretty badass, wouldn't it? Yeah. That altar of darkness shrine with all the bones and the crazy shit. You know what I mean? What's up, Tava? What's up, Jeff? Ashes to ashes, baby. Yeah. I think for me anyways, and like what my soul's purpose is here as I'm going to call it a demi-godlic demon. I think that I have to be burned. I think that I have to be ashes. And that's okay. That's an ancient way of doing it. And I'm an old soul, just like a lot of you are, right? Ancient, baby, ancient. What we're doing, what we're working with is ancient, baby. And yeah, if I do that too, no one can piss on my grave. There were some people that wanted to, like earlier, and I thought it was kind of funny. They were telling me to kill myself quite a few times, but I ain't gonna get into that. And I ain't gonna do it. Sorry, but I ain't gonna kill myself. Sorry to disappoint you. And yes, if I did, my daughters would cry a lot. Thank you very much. So we're going to get further into Lucifuge here. This is something that I've never shared with anyone, unless you've been lucky enough to run across this, which I guess a lot of people haven't. I've never ever had anybody reach out to me about it. I've never had anybody say, hey, wow, blah, 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 blah. A lot of my writing is just lost in all of these different texts. And that's cool, you know? When I wrote these things, nobody knew who the fuck I was, and like a lot of people still don't. And so, is it significant? Not really. It means something to me, personally. And it's called Liber ipsum, and it means free thyself. And I have it tattooed here, actually. I have it tattooed here on my chest. And some really cool writing, the Liber ipsum. And that's going to be very, very poignant at the time of your passing on to being a demigod. You are going to have to free yourself. You're going to have to free yourself from the confines and limitations of this place in order to transcend it and to order to rise again from the ashes. Like a phoenix, baby. So we're going to get into this, man. This is book number 7. Mine's book number 7 in here, Liber ipsum. And it says, it has been nearly 3 years since my first encounter with one of the most mysterious and largely misunderstood demonic entities, Lucifuge Rofocale. There are many who claim that this particular demon can be extremely difficult to work with, and it is not typically recommended that less experienced practitioners attempt to summon him. Because of this, Lucifuge has found himself on many magicians' do not summon list. For many, the fear of what could be supersedes the curiosity of what might have been. The multitude of magicians that allow the tongues of others to limit the progress of their own spiritual ascent is quite staggering. What a fine example of the herd mentality alive and well in our current day and age and in our current community. Thankfully, I did not heed the warnings of those who openly expressed their unfounded opinions regarding this powerful being of darkness. Had I done so, I can say with all certainty that this essay would have never come into existence, nor would the man that I know myself to be. While it is true that I have indeed worked very closely with many demons, there is something uniquely different about Lucifuge. I had great difficulty in my initial attempts to discern exactly what it was about this demon that seemed to put him in a class all of his own. Although I felt great excitement in regards to his mystical nature, I could not ignore the indefinable energies surrounding him. This caused my mind to wander with reckless abandon in an effort to process what I considered to quite possibly be nothing more than my own insanity. While most demons that I have worked with understand the overall human condition, they do not necessarily have empathy for the overwhelming intensity that life imposes upon those that dwell here physically upon this earth. For the longest time, I could not fully comprehend why this demon, this so-called vile spawn of hell, would be compassionate enough to willingly bring him down to my level. One of the more astounding aspects of this comforting gesture was that he would always do so unsolicited and without any reservations. Lucifuge knew that if he was willing to not only display, but sincerely embody vulnerability, that I myself would in turn do so. If he was able to allow me to fully know and understand him, that I could then begin to truly know and understand myself. Hold on, I gotta take this off because I am getting hot up in this bitch. We gotta strip down a little bit, y'all. Woo! Sorry, we're gonna... Ooh, there we go. Okay. That's more like it, isn't it? Okay. We're gonna continue. As time passed, I found this demon to be so relatable, compassionate, and understanding. I had finally come to realize that these highly favorable and immensely desirable attributes are the key to unlocking Lucifuge Rofocale's mysteries. I must admit that I am somewhat apprehensive to candidly expressing the gnosis that I have come to possess regarding this powerful infernal host. I shared that with you tonight. I didn't write about it then. That was something that I don't think any of us are really quite ready for, but I revealed it to you tonight. You're welcome. Okay. Shit. Okay, where are we at? Okay. Though I may be hesitant and maybe even somewhat afraid, I fully understand that I must be willing, as was Lucifuge, to share of myself in this way. And I'm doing it now. In doing so, not only will those who read of this text come to better know and understand him, but in turn they shall then come to better know and understand themselves. A more thorough comprehension is found within that which duplicates the natural cycles of life, and those who reside upon this earth are subject to. It is for this reason that I shall now take a step back into the darkness of which Lucifuge and I first became acquainted. I can make only one promise to those who are willing to now embark upon this journey, through the reading of this text, that indeed the mysteries of Lucifuge Rofocale shall at its conclusion be dutifully revealed. Though the gnosis that I have come to understand and his mysteries may be considered by some to be incomplete, I shall stand steadfast in the truthfulness of my testimony therein. I am confident that Lucifuge has much more in which he wishes to express, and even greater mysteries yet to be revealed, not only to myself, but to all that boldly seek him. For those who know me well, it is no secret that I am an extremely spontaneous person. Guilty. Right? Well, I do strive to remain in a constant state of balance in all areas of my life. Yeah, that might be a lie. Well, I am now. It was a lie for a long time. But I will have to admit that I rely on my intuition almost exclusively, as I have found that my internal sense of just knowing, baby, is an instant as a delicious carnation breakfast drink. Of course, there has not always been the case, and for much of my adult life, I struggled to understand why I seemed to operate on an entirely different wavelength from a majority of those around me. We were talking about that, weren't we? Yeah, yeah, just like all of you. Yeah, All right, while our society would have me believe that I am but one of thousands of useless stones wasting away within the grave of a dry creek bed, it was Lucifuge who prompted me instead to transform the contents of that gravestone into foundational bedrock, baby. Lucifuge made it very clear that the entirety of this world as I knew it could indeed become that of which I so desired it to be. But before any of that could take place, there was a war to be waged within myself. This war would not be fought on a foreign land, nor would I be taking up arms against an unknown invader. This war, he carefully explained, would take place within the confines of my own mind. And if I were to be victorious, that the person who I once knew myself to be must perish. And there, the thumbprint of their influence purged from within me entirely. This new way of not only viewing the world around me, but the manner in which I govern my very existence within it shall forever be changed. The person with whom I had for so long identified myself to be was now be considered public enemy number one. This is funny. This is some funny shit. And this tyrannical oppressor was to be given no quarter, shown no mercy, and it was painfully obvious that I would indeed have to die. Killing off this detrimental part of me was necessary to move forward by embracing a new way of living through the ancient art of dying, baby. Yeah, this new way that I was to embrace to its fullest extent possible would be centered on this new version of myself. Lucifuge stressed the importance of the cultivation and utilization of my psychic senses, and that much time, attention, and emphasis must be placed upon the development and application of these attributes that would eventually be fully accessible unto me, which they are. Here and now, they will be to you as well. Lucifuge stressed the point of not getting caught within the cobwebs of my own conscious mind, as it is within those dangerous recesses of ourselves that we can so easily fall victim once again to our former states of mental slavery. Lucifuge played an integral role in my life in assisting me to come into the realization that the only way in which to completely live my true will and in the fullness of my potential was to embrace and put into use those parts of myself that the outside world had convinced me were the main source of struggle and pain in my life. Holy shit, that's happened over and over. That's happened over and over. Wow. Although I have always considered myself to be a successful person, I couldn't help but feel as if I were failing to fire on all cylinders, so to speak. When I had finally felt that I could begin to implement the advice bestowed upon me by the demonic brother of darkness, it was then that I realized that I was indeed becoming one with the dark matter in which I had been created. Damn. It would be through his careful guidance that I would learn how to embrace and make practical use of that which I only then knew to be a product of my own scrambled insanity. Just as Lucifuge had assured me, by the heeding of his words and the execution of our plans into action, that things would finally begin to fall into place. I began to see the world and myself in vastly different ways, as many might say, in a different light. However, this version of the world that I was beginning to be shown and now beginning to make sense of was actually one devoid of all light, as it was a world filled with the darkest of all casted shadows. Within the newly found realm of eternal light, I embraced the realization that I had to become like Lucifuge, he who flees the light. Through him, I knew that I was coming into full communion with my own internal darkness. It was obvious to me that I was different. You're different. And Lucifuge had stressed to me that my operating system was not what most in our current society would consider to be typical. I have a keen understanding now of why so many upon this earth struggle as they do, as they are much like me, they are much like him. Hi. Hey, everybody. For those of us that are cut of the infernal cloth, we must realize and embrace who and what we are if we are ever to expect to make it through this life alive. If we fail to accept our true identity each and every day, our lives will be comparable to the struggle and frustration that is a direct result of attempting to force a square peg into a circular hole. It just doesn't work. No matter how hard one may try to make it so through physical means alone, it's of no surprise to me that society would then be so quick to label those like me as afflicted with mental illness, usually via their own internet-based methods of self-diagnosis. In today's world of instant access to information, we find that every keyboard warrior is also a self-proclaimed physician. But it typically does not end there, as most adopt the initial roles of judge, jury, and executioner as well. Rather than accepting a life shrouded by the stigma placed upon me by a confused and unjust society, I instead chose to embrace my supposed infliction and learn how to utilize it to my own benefit, just as Lucifuge had advised. Through persistent dedication, focusing my awareness as it relates to the development of my own psychic faculties, I have come to realize that they are indeed similar to that of a muscle found within our physical body, as the more they are utilized, the stronger they become. On the adverse side of that notion, if not put in consistent use, the overall capacity of these inherent faculties decreases, and if neglected entirely, may even seem to go dormant within us. I strongly stand behind the notion that if one desires to increase their psychic skill set or gifts, that one must wholeheartedly trust in the validity of the information in which they have physically received. Lucifuge impressed upon me what I feel is important antidote in regards to the development of one's psychic ability, that being, you must be willing to be wrong and to be wrong strong. I've said that a lot. You know what I'm saying? As it's a seemingly unimportant phrase became something of a constant companion in my life, much like Lucifuge himself, I found myself constantly returning back to seek the wisdom that was found within them both. Lucifuge explained that one is overly concerned with how they may appear to others that might ridicule them based on their psychic inaccuracy. They shall never come to realize the influx of personal power that there is to be attained via the validation of their psychic insight. When in consultation with my own clients, I have always promoted the sentiment of whatever comes through, just put it out there, as it is the only way in which one can ever hope to truly grow in this area. It is of my humble opinion that it is indeed our sixth sense and our most important in this life. Once I had better developed my psychic senses to the degree of being able to more easily feel the things that Lucifuge was communicating to me, the floodgates of information began to fully open. It was then that he began to reveal things to me so that I might be better able to make sense of his mysterious nature. There are some who may disagree with my interpretations that shall be laid out in the paragraphs that follow, and of course I respect each person's right to their own opinions. There was a distinct reason why Lucifuge came across so differently to me than did other demonic entities in which I had so closely worked with. I knew that his energetic signature was a bit foreign, yet it was indeed so oddly familiar. Lucifuge Rofocale is not exactly like other demons. He is not entirely a product of the infernal realm. Lucifuge is a demigod. Yes, for sure, and that there is a part of him that is indeed very human, combined with the dark wisdom of the demonic. There are clues that can be found within the details of his physical manifestational appearance. That is that he is depicted as having the upper body and image of a man, with the lower portion of his form being that of a goat. It is through the results of dark alchemical transformation that Lucifuge Rofocale has emerged as the vital link between mankind and those that reside in the demonic realm. This is the reason that Lucifuge is the primary maker of demonic pacts, as is he who possesses the vibrational resonance that brings forth into creation the frequency responsible for the solidification of these workings in the astral realm. The hoop or the ring in which Lucifuge has been known to carry with him is one hand as representative of his key role as the vital link, the nexus point that I had mentioned prior. Much like the links of a chain, he possesses the power and authority to join two opposite sides together in union, bringing them together as one. The hoop is also representative of the eternal force of creation, an occult gnosis that has been depicted in the image of the Ouroboros. I have found that when it comes to Lucifuge Rofocale, there is a multitude of important information about who he is and what he represents via the details of his physical appearance. The three horns that are prominently positioned upon his head are representative of his specific role as the intermediary between man and demon. During the sacred rite of pact making, each horn represents the three sovereign individuals that come together during this particular or type of official ritual working. The horn position on the left side depicts the demon in which the pact is intended to be made. The horn on the right side represents the man or woman who wishes to initiate said pact working. And the center horn stands for Lucifuge himself, as he brings together the willing parties of man and demon, as within him the qualities and elements of both can be found. Lastly, there is a small sack that he carries in the hand opposite to the one clutching the aforementioned hoop. Many have understood this sack contains gold coins or some type of treasure. I have come to understand that it is a metaphor that can be therein are similarly a type of magical seed, that seed that I was telling you about that's planted within each and every one of you. Because you are all demigods, and you will all be demigodlic demons that you will be conjured after you leave this place. The contents of the sack are implements utilized in a specific alchemical transmutation resulting from Lucifuge's potent magical workings. Just as a seed grows here upon this earth when safely planted within fertile soil, so would this seed of magical power and psychic awareness continuously prosper within a deserving vessel fully invested in their ascent. Magicians interested in working with Lucifuge should certainly do so, and if you have a desire, then you already possess one of the most important qualities that he finds attractive. I have found that when approaching Lucifuge, the most important character trait to outwardly display with great enthusiasm is one's confidence in the belief of their own inherent godhood. This is keenly displayed through one's desire to insist upon seeking their own understanding, living life by their own terms, and by not allowing themselves to be influenced by those who would attempt to dissuade them from their goals by creating falsehoods. Those that understand what is good for the gander may not necessarily be good for the goose. Embrace this independent and free-thinking ideal in which Lucifuge so boldly champions. Lucifuge seems to understand the power and value of the mind better than any other spirit I have worked with. He would frequently expound upon a multitude of ever-present dangers that existed within our reality. The grand conspiracy that is the struggle for control of the minds, which rightfully belong to the individuals and which physically house, support, and nourish them. The following text is a dictation that I had obtained during an evocation of Lucifuge, where he had as much to say regarding the topics previously mentioned within this paragraph. There are forces that have so keenly, and might I add covertly, controlled every aspect of the human mind. These agendas, when broken down to their most basic forms, can be summed up but in a few key terms. These are limitation, control, and constraint, all via manipulation of humanity's most valuable personal asset, that being the mind. For thousands of years, this plague upon the human race has been carried out mainly through the means and tactics employed by the various mainstream organized religions, many of which remain prevalent in the current day and age. It is because of that those rebellious sorry. It is because that those rebellious souls, those cut of a darker cloth, have continued their pursuit to overcome the tyranny that has remained at the forefront of society for countless generations. Unjust factions of elitists continue to force upon society their fabricated versions of human history, that of which they covertly utilize to shape the future of the world. Without the slightest hesitation, these emotionless puppets, these pawns of the master, smugly continue to construct the new aeon of the modern age, with nothing more than manufactured illusion. Boasting a blueprint of supposed perfection, this manufactured master, this self-proclaimed grand architect of all existence, is nothing more than a character of the likes that can be found within the text of one's favorite children's book. What this master constructs is nothing more than a false bill of goods, a supposed empire of which lacks any form of actual substance. It's a bedrock nothing more than their foundation of lies. It is certainly the intent to forever hide the truth, hoard the ultimate power found in the human potential, and above all do everything possible to prevent the common man from fostering that primordial urge to truly know thyself. Those that have truly awakened, the steadfast witches and sorcerers of this world that work within the protective confines of the shadows, are those that initiate the opposing force that push back against those scoundrels that attempt to assert their control upon the masses. These spiritual free agents reign that which has been stripped from them by the way of their own magical practices. Occultists refuse to bow before any god, nor will they stand for any notion or idea that in direct opposition to an individual's personal freedom. Their methods of combating the tyranny include traversing the spiritual realms, seeking out obscure grimoires to unlock their mysteries, and by conjuring powerful demons into physical form before them to regain that which has for centuries been lost. While much ground has been regained and sources of unlimited power and potential have begun to once again be tapped into, there still remains a substantial blockage or limiting force that continues to hold humanity's intended evolution back. Black magicians should indeed all seek power, and in doing so, seek only that power that is of a limitless variety. If one has spent any time actively involved in the implementation of magical practices, then it should be well understood that the nature of the power obtained through black magic is indeed that limitless. Now, having the understanding of the sheer magnitude of power that can be wielded magically, it becomes the responsibility of the magician to remove any obstacles that could possibly stand between them and that coveted philosopher's stone. The epitome of the shattering of all understanding regarding limitations of mortal man. With every ritual working, spell casting, and spirit evocation, the magician is the very embodiment of creation itself. In fact, they are in that very moment like that of a god. With every fiber of both man's physical and spiritual body, it is so. That humankind is comprised of a collective current that resonates within the very darkest of all matter. The evolution of mankind, spawned largely by their inherent desire to surpass that which once was perceived to be unattainable or altogether impossible, continues onward in its transformational progress of becoming. The journey, the great ordeal that man has come to know simply as life, is indeed the great equalizer. As all men here on earth live, but not all men that tread upon this solid ground must die. The haves and the have-nots are differentiated by much more than the gold and other riches that can be obtained in one's life here on this earth. The aspects of humanity that become the determining factors of life beyond the perception of this reality are vital for one to exist outside of this world's limitations. These things, and these things alone, should be the primary focus of all mankind. And I have to take a break here because, good God, it's a lot more. It's like 5 more pages. Wow, I didn't know Enoch was after mine. Holy shit. I actually have a consultation with him on Sunday. Hail Enoch Pucciselli. Fuck yeah, dude. He's going to be helping me out. I have a consultation with him, not the other way around. I contacted him because I want to talk to him because he's so awesome. So let me smoke for a minute and we will continue. We'll finish this. I hope that you all are enjoying it. I hope that this is making some sense to you. This is another thing that, like, seriously, I don't even remember writing this. I don't remember any of it at all. It's so weird and so crazy. Like, every grimoire that I've written in, I don't remember. I couldn't pick it out if you showed it to me. I mean, of course, if I start reading it, I kind of remember then, but you know, when you're doing something like this, when you're doing work like this, like, you are just straight up channeling. You are straight up channeling, dude. And you're not always going to remember what happened. That's why, like, I really do recommend that when you are in ritual, that you don't just go into it with a pen and a paper or a pen and a pad. Record that shit, man. Record it. There are things that will happen. There were things that will manifest. There will be words that come out of your mouth as that demon is speaking through you that you may not even be capable of jotting down, that it may be lost forever if you don't record it. So, like, I really, really recommend that you do that. And it'll be something that, like, as you grow as a magician, as you grow in your own power, it's so cool to look back and see where you started. It's so cool to look back and see how you've grown. It's so cool to look back and see, like, how your practice has changed. Or maybe you'll remember something that was like a foundational aspect of your practice that maybe you lost somewhere, but you'll find it again. Just like I'm finding this again. This is like, what, 6 or 7, 8 years old now? And it's so cool to be able to go back and see this shit. It's so cool to be able to go back and, like, try to tap into that again. Because, like, it's been so long, like I said, I don't remember it. Fucking channeled it, fucking wrote it, fucking did the work, wrote the book, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But I don't remember. And thanks for everybody for being here. I love you all so much. Yeah. We're going to finish the other 3 or 4 pages here in a second. It'll be over very quickly. But thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it very much. And I hope that you were all fucking, yes, my Celtic friend, but you know, I'm a little bit different than you are, my friend, and that's okay. I don't need his salvation. You know, I'm not planning on going to heaven, okay? I have a role here on this earth, and I always will, and I've accepted that. Like, when I move on, I'm no angel, brother, and I'm sorry for that, but I have a big role to play, just like Jesus did. Everybody else here does too, and I'm sure that you do too, my friend, and you're definitely welcome here. Like, you know, always. You're totally welcome here. I know Jesus, I know Yeshua a little bit differently than you do probably, because I actually know the truth about him. I know the truth about Mary Magdalene. I know the truth about their relationship. I know the truth about their marriage. I know the truth about the children that they had that you probably never even heard of, have you? And that's okay. It's okay. You do your thing. If it works for you, that's great. You just better not be lukewarm, brother. He'd rather you be stone cold than lukewarm, right? So you better be burning for desire with him. You better be. And that's a message coming from a demon right now. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? You know? Just like all of us here are. When you're lukewarm, nothing's going to happen good. When you're just dipping your toes in the water, nothing's going to work for you. You have to have a burning desire. You have to be all in or not at all. Just like with Jesus, just like with Lucifuge, just like with Satan, just like with Lilith. There's no room for any lukewarmness here. You either have that burning desire in your heart or you don't. And it's important, if you want to do anything good in life, that you have that burning desire, that you allow that inner flame inside of you to burn and to burn brightly, and that you go after whatever it is that you want with the fullness of your heart and your conviction. That's so important. Whether you're worshiping Jesus or worshiping Satan or worshiping yourself, you have to do it all the way or not at all. All the way or not at all, man. You know what I mean? I know you do. You know, Yeshua had a pretty strong relationship with the demon. His name was Beelzebub, and he gave him amazing, miraculous powers. Just like all of us have here. We've all tapped into it. We've all utilized it. We know what's up. We know what's up. And we have come to these conclusions not from any book, not from anything that's been passed down. We come to these conclusions based on the direct connection that we have with these spirits. While it is interesting to hear my take on these things and to read other people's takes on these things, none of that matters really and truly. What matters is that true connection. What matters is what your heart and what your soul receives. And that's across the board with any spiritual path. Really and truly. It doesn't really matter what anybody else says. It doesn't really even matter what their experiences are. They're cool. They can help you. But what really matters is your true connection. Your true connection. Your wholeheartedness desire to understand not only yourself, but to understand this spiritual realm that is surrounding us all. We're all a part of it, no matter what we're doing. We can't run from it. We can't hide from it. It's here. It's there. It lives inside of you, and it lives all around you. As within, so without. It's so true. Yeah. And the as above, so below, that's true too. And there's not just a father up there, my friend. There's not. He didn't just spontaneously nut out creation on his own. No, there is a divine mother. And yeah, she is the earth, but she's also represented by the goddess above. and we have denied her here upon this earth, and that's why it's so imbalanced. That's why we're all going crazy. The moment that we denied that goddess is the moment that this earth began to become an actual hell. The one that you're all afraid of that really doesn't exist, it's here. We're in it. We live in it every fucking day. It's not a place that you're going to go to after this. It's a place that you dwell in now, baby boys and girls. And I know a lot of you know that. I know a lot of you realize that. I know a lot of you have gone through it and you've come out on the other side. And once you do that, it's not so dark anymore, is it? No. Because like, yeah, while hell exists here, heaven exists here as well. And it's all a matter of like your willingness to go through hardship and pain, to learn from it, to move through that darkness into the light, to allow that light that shines brightly within you to be expressed. We all have it. It doesn't matter how dark you are. It doesn't matter what you do or what you've done. It does matter what you do from here on out. If you want that light to emanate, if you want that light to shine, if you want to like truly begin to understand the nature of this reality on your own, what it actually means to you and not what the rest of the world tells you it is, that's when you're really going to find the truth. Straight up. Well, I can't read the chat anymore because it's broken. That happens sometimes. It just stops moving. I guess I could try to find it, but I'm just going to continue on finishing these rest of these pages here for you all. For anybody that's joined us, I've already read the first like 2/3 of my writing in the Compendium of Lucifuge, the Lord of Pax. He's not just a demon, he's a demigod. Just like a lot of you, just like me. I admit it and I embrace it. Call me crazy, you know? So, for many, amassing a great fortune becomes a primary objective of this physical life. The sentiment can be viewed as rather short-sighted, as it does nothing to nourish the eternal spirit which resides within all living beings, as whether they live on or they perish. The tangible wealth acquired cannot be taken with them when their time here has ended. The wise seek that which can be carried with them, and that which has been obtained spiritually through their means of their magic. These things combined with their overall life experience will most certainly benefit them when the time comes for them to release from the physical body in which they are currently seated, and then freely move on to the higher dimensional realms in which they then seek to exist within. The keys to mortal man's own godhood lay hidden within the many layers of the energetic body and in the immortal spirit. It is here that the source of man's ultimate drive and inspiration can be found, the inferno that roars within those that have been awakened, by which man has come to know all too well as the inner black flame of knowledge. The nurturing of the black flame can propel one to accomplish their dreams, live out their true will, and obtain spiritual knowledge that would otherwise be unattainable to the typical human. There are many that remain ignorant in their living slumber, wasting so much more than this one life. Their incarnation will also jeopardize future spiritual existence. For those in which the flame is not ignited, death shall surely come to reap what remains of life. Before one can fully ignite this flame and benefit from the unlimited bounty found therein, one must access the part of themselves that is not only hidden, but the part of them that operates independently of conscious thought entirely. This is not the mind's co-pilot, rather this is the mind's autopilot. While its seemingly sentient part of man is responsible for most of the regulatory bodily functions, such as breathing and swallowing, it is also the main hub that houses the most vital aspects of man and who they are as an opinionated, independent thinking person. This is the place where man's overall worldview takes shape and their unique persona is molded into the I am. There's your Yeshua, my friend. This part of man is responsible for not only the way they perceive themselves, but also the very world around them. It can then be said that this is an all-important part of the human being, is fully capable of either lifting them to the loftiest of heights, or it could greatly limit or even destroy them entirely. Therefore, it is entirely true that man is both their own best friend and their own worst enemy. I'm sure you've heard that all a million times. Within this main hub of man's complex mind, there lay an intricate maze of corridors. These lost and in many cases forgotten pathways lead to the hidden dungeons, where there can be found both mental and emotional information of vital importance. For most of this information is inaccessible to the conscious mind, where it could easily be recognized and thus altered to suit man's own immediate needs. But rather it remains trapped and shackled within the dark confines of the subconscious. It is here, within man's own personal abyss of dense brain matter, that these holding cells can be found. Here one can discover not only the darkest aspects of themselves, but also some of the most profound and magically valuable aspects of who they are as an individual. Let me drink some water. Thank you. It is here within the intricate labyrinth that both the lock and the key reside. That precious implement that so many never even fully know exists. That which either can be unequivocally defined who they are, or perpetually dominate and control them. This is the place where one can either spawn greatness or bury themselves in their own defeat unknowingly. This is the birthplace of creation, wherein the most spectacular and utterly amazing of all magic begins. But adversely, it can also operate as the all too familiar birth mother of commonplace mediocrity. There is but a small defining point, a subtle mark, if you will, that mankind all must hit in just the right way that allows them to either break the chains and thus free that which lay trapped within, or find themselves fully bound and blinded within the bowels of their own mental malaise. Far off in the distance, past the place within the mortal mind, whereas nocturnal dreamscapes challenge man's waking perception of reality, there can be found clusters of rather obscure chambers. These isolated areas are connected to the neurological pathways in which the psychic, thought, and spiritual communication ebb and flow, much like the viscous warm crimson carried within the veins of man's physical body. This communication and associated information flow freely from that within the energy centers. For all mankind, empowerment can be found through the realization and the ultimate understanding of what must transpire to embrace the living God within them. Man must seek to both master and then utilize the immense potential that is only found within their inherent psychic faculties. Once the appropriate level of spiritual ascent is achieved through apotheosis, all is then made apparent, and the indeed destination that is found both within and beyond these earthly confines of limitation are then clearly realized. Life is no more complex than is the flavor found within the nectar of the gods. Man must be willing to allow, without any cause for concern, fully embrace their mind's reality and to understand and accept that there may not always be a right or a wrong answer. There are indeed cosmic shifts that create an overlapping effect within the confines of one's own perception. Man can't fathom the true complexity of that which he only knows to be found in and of himself, for he exists not only within, but also without. Man's most powerful weapon is that which resides within the subconscious mind, that all-powerful epicenter of magical prowess and potency, the powerhouse generator of the mind that naturally links up to the astral plane and is primarily responsible for the fantastical manifestations in which men have learned to command into existence here on this physical plane. These separate compartments of consciousness have also created areas that attempt to bury the guilt, the fear, and the shame that mankind have all been literally programmed to absorb. Much like a parasite, these infiltrated and hijacked areas within the mind's subconscious mind are fed, and through the lies and manipulation imposed upon them, confusion and denial are not only created but nurtured. Unbeknownst to the majority of both men and women currently existing here on Earth, they integrate concepts that eventually shall begin to slowly consume and destroy them from within. Without realizing what they are actually doing, they carry out agendas that at the end of the game, products game products that are so carefully created by design and specifically geared toward their own demise, and like the good little sheep that they have been groomed to become, they will then pass down these programs of disease, limitation, and absolute death to their future generations. Mankind, a once immensely powerful psychic being of the likes that borderline that of a demigod themselves, are now only fragments of their intended and former glory. It is so very painful to see that they have become conditioned to believe that they should be proud of who they are by submissively taking their position within the flock. The master, he of the false light, he has conditioned mankind to feel a hollow and insecure sense of peace and comfort by his staff. He is their shepherd. After all, it is he who claims to feed them. It is he who clothes them. It is he who demands their supplication. And as they cling to him, they have been conditioned to believe that they find solace within the shelter of his cloak, as it is so graciously laid down upon them. The cloak that his programmed paradigm hides behind, the very same that would have mankind believe that humble obedience is the way to everlasting life, continues to falsely project itself to be that most glittering golden grandeur. It all but forces one to believe that those whom are meek and powerless, as is the Lamb, are in fact the very embodiment of the righteous man. In reality, this cloak is nothing more than a brick-filled sackcloth. The magnitude of the tremendous weight that continuously bears down upon the indoctrinated is utterly devastating. Those that have never even considered the possibility of such power being truly attainable are the very same that will never ever come to know it. The real problem therein lies with the majority of those that seek to ascend, and they think they truly believe that they can assert such power within their lives, but on a subconscious level, their childhood conditioning has them shackled within the constraints of limitation. There are so many that fall for this without any notion of a second guess, but for those that have awakened, it is plainly understood that this is no cloak of peace or protection. This is the all-consuming cloak of guilt, fear, and shame. This is the hunter's net that ensnares his prey, preventing them from ever moving forward in freedom. This is the unassuming trap of he who in all actuality wears the mask of an impostor. He who imposes upon the masses the self-limiting shackles of both social and religious dogma alike, and preaches that each should don the same cloak as he. It is he who urges man to all adapt that righteous attitude of subservient, humble dignity, and to follow him in blind faith, taking up the burdens of his yoke upon themselves. It is within the deep cover of man's own camouflage that he finds the viciousness of his own predatory roots that once given life, then entangle and distort every aspect of who he believes himself to be. Mankind has been the victim of subconscious programming imposed upon each one of them in the most formidable years of their delicate and, might I add, impressionable lives. For nearly 99% of humans, this is the paradigm that is largely responsible for not only their overall worldview, but has in most cases been the core influence of their entire belief system. For at least the last 2,000 years, this built-by-design means of controlling the masses has been injected into the very fabric of society by those that seek counsel, powers, and knowledge by stepping stones to the acquisition of even greater levels of human discovery. We got 2 more pages. I got to take a break. I'm going to go to the, I'm going to turn the music off, and I'm going to go and see what you guys are talking about, because as it does sometimes, the chat quit working on the phone that I'm recording on. So I just want to say hi to y'all and see what's up, man. I hope that we had a lot of Christians in here tonight that will actually hear some of this. Oh, hell yeah, we got 44 people in here right now. That's a great number. Thank you so much. And we're going to finish this up. I hope that you guys are enjoying it. I haven't read this in so long. You know, I wrote it 7 years ago, and it's just weird to me now that I'm reading it now. It's just strange. It's kind of the perfect time really and truly. Oh, there I am. Look at this. Oh, that's me. Wow. Okay, so who's here? Cora, you're here. Hell yeah. Whoop. Let me get to this chat. You've been mean about the Christians. We had Jesus here. Hell yeah. Jesus can be here, you know. Thanks for everybody that's being here. I really do. And so, you know, if you want to read this writing that I wrote, you can find it here in the Lucifuge, the Lord of Pax compendium. You probably can't find this anymore, but I think that you can get it on Amazon and probably other places. But yeah, it's a priceless gift, as like those of you that know probably understand now. You probably never even heard of my writing. You probably never read nothing that I put out there. And I know I didn't either. I thought it was all bullshit too for a long time. Not bullshit, but I didn't think it was all that great. But it's pretty fucking cool, actually, I think. And we're going to continue. Okay, we're going to get this done, okay? We got a few more pages and then it's over. So, and then we'll chill again for a minute. Okay. There is one aspect of this programming that is the most destructive. That is the sum total of every disgusting mental manipulation ever imposed upon mankind. And that, dear ones, would be the extinction of man's genuine ability to truly love themselves. Ooh. The love of self, as can be seen in today's world, may appear to be alive and well. However, much of this sentiment is a false projection of actual reality and typically goes no deeper than the surface. For one to truly love themselves, one must therefore trust in themselves with all of their heart and soul, and that too has been torn from man and skillfully redirected. For the whole of mankind, every man, woman, and child have been conditioned to feel ashamed for loving themselves, and that mankind should devote every ounce of love to their God, and that they have been conditioned to fear. What the fuck, right? That's weird. That's crazy. Just think about it for a minute. Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. Whatever. for the whole of mankind. Okay. Okay. When man willingly entertains notions of them embracing their unique individual identities and truly begins to fall in love with which they are, it is then that hidden weapons the enemy has implanted within their mind quickly begins to initiate the full force of its devastating destruction. These weapons were created to inflict the most severe, self-destructive, and self-sabotaging thought patterns that are a direct result of the indoctrination and total takeover of man's subconscious. The more one attempts to realize their true identity and nurture the inner black flame seated deeply within them, they find the heavier their cloak of absolute bondage becomes. Bricks continue to be added to this sackcloth of constraint, of which those remain asleep must endure for the eternity of this mortal life. Stand upright with absolute confidence and be not afraid. Without any hint of hesitation, one should boldly proclaim their rightful position here upon this earth. Be also insistent as to your will to proclaim your rightful position within those lofty realms that exist above the earth. We were talking about that earlier. Stand firm and with absolute defiance, laying claim to those endless caverns of darkness and molten rivers that empty out into nothingness, as this shall solidify your position of ultimate power, unencumbered within this physical world. Be still. For just a moment, quiet yourself, so that you might hear that still small voice that is all too familiar within each living soul. Listen carefully and be so patient as this silent whisper that you have longed to hear, that is beckons over so sweetly for you to simply wake up, child. Wake up, child. This voice prompts you to earnestly follow your heart, your instincts, and all-powerful psychic nature through intuition. For once an individual begins to do these things, something truly magnificent begins to manifest. With each and every human being there lay a forgotten seed, that which then made subject to the most transformative magical alchemy. The end result being that of an immaculately sown spark brimming with demonic power, appearing to be as if it were a small, minuscule fragment derived from a mere grain of sand. The magnitude of its power and glory could topple nations. That's in you, baby. There, seated within the souls of man, this spark begins to ignite. The purpose of this spark bearing seed is for man to become in alignment with the God form or the higher self. This connection is yet another key aspect or primary driving force behind the magician's conquest of attaining limitless human potential. Once a true connection is established, it is then that one can truly begin to live. The true us is the spirit, and it is the spirit that is aiding our physical body or avatar through the conscious direction of the higher self, which conformatively resides in another part of the universe, perhaps, or even in another dimension entirely. The higher self works alongside the avatar in an effort to complete a successful incarnation and gather valuable life experience while here in this physical plane of existence. Humankind has been programmed to believe that the key to everlasting life is through something external of them, when the entire time that very thing in which they have so desperately been in search for countless generations was indeed inside each one of them. Since the very beginning of time, never has there been such a disgusting act imposed upon another that could even begin to rival the magnitude of that which I now regretfully elaborate. Be it so that it is not only the solemn duty of each magician to seek and destroy these implanted parasites of limitation that hide deep within their own minds, but to then also scatter these newly attained keys of truth, much like seeds unto the wind, so that each and every human being can then realize the freedom found in self-liberation that there is for all to embrace, right? It is then that the truth can be fully realized and man's individual power to then flourish. No longer slaves unto themselves, a mere product of the falsehoods derived by the forked tongue of the imprisoned man, that they can finally be set free. Shackled no more, so be it that the fruits of this good news can then be harvested by the collective, and the constraints of limitation abolished now and forever. It is only through man's only awareness and deliberate actions that freedom from the tyrannical programming and conditioning can then be eradicated from within them, thus no longer plaguing humanity with its pestilence. The self-limiting nature of this conditioning goes directly against every intention or execution of action by the inspiring magician, as it is the true poison within the tainted waters of the well, the silent killer that continues to stalk his prey undetected, and as if his very existence is only a product of one's own mind, and what threat could be legitimate without an opposing force executing the delivery therein. It is then that Lucifuge grew silent, and he departed without even being dismissed. As I sat there in quiet meditation, my eyes strained as I scanned the pages of information that I had almost unknowingly scribbled down. Although I had a burning desire to read each and every word at that very moment, I realized I would only be spinning my wheels. Utterly exhausted, I could not take or shake the unmistakable feeling of the trance-like state that had still had its hold on me. I tried my best to stay alert and conscious. However, I soon realized that I would be unable to process Lucifuge's words given my current state of exhaustion. Slowly but surely, I then drifted off to sleep. The following day, I reflected back on the events that had transpired. I was stunned at the duration of the prior day's evocation, as it was almost 7 hours that Lucifuge was there with me. Looking back upon it, I realized that it did contain quite a dreamlike quality, more so than any other ritual evocation or similar magical ritual has to this date within the confines of my memory. I read over page after page of dictation taken down straight from the lips of that demon, the demigod, whom I had spent so much time with the day before. It was then that I noticed the words inscribed on the back of one of the pages read, Liberate ipsum, free thyself. I did not recall the writing of these words during the ritual, and was unsure as to the meaning of this phrase that lay before me. With great haste, I threw open my laptop and quickly went to the internet in search for the answers. I found the origin to be Latin, and then found that indeed these words, this phrase, did have a sensible meaning after all. I found that liberate ipsum, translated in the English language, meant to free thyself. I knew that Lucifuge had written that somehow during the ritual, and even though it was hiding on the back of one of the numerous pages within that notebook, he would ensure that I would be led to the proper place in order to find it. I reflected upon the phrase as I looked back over the multitude of information contained within the thick stack of pages. I read over the evocation notes, allowing my mind to absorb the text, then stared back at me betwixt the lines that seemed to struggle to contain them. Feeling stressed, I then sat back, rubbing my eyes, and then once again I jumped right back into it. This time I decided to transcribe the text. Wanted to be sure that my eyes would not inadvertently miss something, as I knew there was certainly a chance that I could overlook a piece of important information if I did not do so. As I transferred sentence after sentence of information, I could feel the energy of the room around me shift. I could feel that all too familiar twinge within my abdomen and a rush, almost like a sensation of butterflies that one can experience in the presence of someone they are a bit nervous around. Having grown accustomed to this particular vibration, I knew then that it was my dear friend Lucifuge and that he had returned to check in on me following the lengthy ordeal of the prior day's ritual evocation. Once I knew for sure that it was indeed him, I then felt a wave of reassurance wash over me. Lucifuge wanted to ensure that I would not be alarmed at his presence, and in appreciation of this, I then in turn provided a subtle gesture to return the favor. I smiled and chuckled a bit under my breath, and then spoke aloud to him. I thanked him for being so upfront and for graciously sharing of himself in the manner in which he had done so, not just the day prior, but for each instance in which he made his presence known unto me. I was glad that he had returned, and he had departed during the ritual evocation before I had the opportunity to thank him in the proper way. On that day before Lucifuge once again departed, I inquired as to the phrase in which he had mysteriously left for me on the back of the pages of my ritual notebook. Liberate ipsum. Immediately, a familiar pop song from my youth began to play in my mind. I couldn't help myself as I busted out into laughter, and I found this reference to both be comical and well suited, as it defined his message quite perfectly, in my opinion. As I hummed along to En Vogue's hit tune, Free Your Mind, I found that it all made perfect sense to me. Sharing that moment together was the perfect ending to that day, and his message had then become crystal clear to me. Free your mind, and the rest will follow, right? And that's how it ended. It was crazy. And, right? And that's it. It's over. It's done. And so it is done. So mote it be. All that shit. So go get your copy today on Amazon, Sunneth, ladies, gentlemen, people. There's a lot of great authors in here. E.A. Coetting, Michael W. Ford, Edgar Cavall, Bill Duvendek, Orly Stewart, Enoch Putricelli, Frank White, V.K. Johannam, myself, J.D. Temple, Asariel Krabat, Connor Kendall, and C.H. Richard. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Wow, that's fucking funny, brother, man. That's hilarious, bro. Oh, it's on Kindle as well? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So thanks, man. Like, I really appreciate all you being here, and like I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and that it made some sense to you. I hope that you're gonna want to go and get this book and read it. Um, I will say that I think that's probably the most profound gnosis that I've ever received from not from a demon, from a demigod. Um, and like I said, I don't even remember it. It was so crazy. But, pretty profound, pretty profound. So we're coming up on an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and roll out here in a second. And I just want to appreciate everyone for being here. Please give the stream a thumbs up if you would. I'd really, really appreciate that so much because it definitely helps my channel. And, you know, I've been doing this for like 8 or 9 years, and it has been quite a struggle. And I'm really trying very hard to make things happen for myself and for all of you. And that's just like a little gesture that you can do for me. Like me or not, you know, whatever. If you're here, you know, like you owe it to me. That's my opinion. Okay. And if you would leave a comment in the comment sections, I do read them all, and I will comment on your comment. You can say whatever you want, and I won't erase it. I won't get rid of it, but I will answer it. And even if you are rude to me, I'll be nice to you, and I'll give you a nice little blessing. You know what I'm saying? It has been, Jeff. Absolutely. I love you too, Tenebrax, Altar of Darkness, Jasonius Acarnum, Draculum, Celtics Ninja 2032, Doctor of Who, What, Where, Christopher Mirabach, and Johnny Wolf, and GCTM 951, and the Altar of Darkness once again, and Bash, love you, Bash, and Jeff, and Cora Rage, love you, girl, and Dio Nagoi, Dio Ningoi, Braden Smith, hell yeah, man, hell yeah, hell yeah, and the Uncanny Mr. Crow, what's up, Bella, hey, 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 listening with your cats, hell yeah, that's awesome, Alex B, what's up, dude, and who else is here, Big Dom, what's up, Big Dom, and what's up, everything is fine, hell yeah, to see you. And who else do we have here? You got a soggy panini? Yes, you can watch if you're a Mormon. I used to be a Mormon too for a long time. I'll talk about my baptisms that I did for the dead in the temple in Washington, D.C. Crazy. See Michael Westtad. Hey, dude, what's up? Campbell, what's up? What's up, Jesus Christ? Hey, what's up, dude? Good to see you here. And who else do we have here? Celtics Ninjas. That's as far as it's going to let me go back. So thank you all for being here. I do appreciate you all, especially you, Jesus. I love to see you here, man. God, I got to get my teeth whitened, and I got to quit smoking. These motherfuckers are getting like so yellow, and it's kind of embarrassing, but you know, at least they're mine, and they're all here. So yellow or not, they still work. And I'm still gorgeous. So that's, you know, it's okay. But anyways, I'll see you all soon. Love you so much. Hail Lilith, hail Azazel, hail Belial, hail King Paimon, hail Lucifuge, Rofocale, hail Satan. And any of the demons that I forgot, you know that I love you so much. Hail to all of you, our soul family, our channel members, all the awesome fucking people. Hail to Core Rage 666. We got an awesome ritual coming up on March the 13th. It is the full moon, like it is the full blood moon eclipse. It is the sacred rite of Saturn. We are going to be calling down the energies of Saturn. We are going to be calling Lilith. We are going to be calling Azazel. This is going to be such a powerful magic ritual of ultimate transformation. I really do suggest that you participate in this. You can go to my website at jtemple.info. It's only $133. It'll be the best money that you've ever spent to like literally change your fucking life forever and get you on a course of trajectory that will like, it's what you want. It's what you need. I'm telling you right now, it is, and it's true. Anybody that has participated in any of the group rituals that I've been doing over the years will tell you, and they always all come back to participate. Be one of those people, man. Be one of those people. Take your life seriously. Take your magical ascent seriously. This is about magical ascent. This is about catapulting your magical practice to the next level. This is about implementing the energies of Saturn, that freaking like ultimate fucking like discipline in your life, so that you can use your will, so that you can be that driving force in your life, so that you can actually be driving your own vehicle. And it's also about balancing that masculine, divine masculine and divine feminine energy within you, which is so vital along this path. It really is. And we're going to be fucking doing this so powerfully. And I really do hope that you will all participate. I really fucking do. And so I'll see you soon. Love you all. Bye.